That's the only way that people are going to trust government. People don't trust government if they don't think it's fair, if they don't think it's accountable, if they don't think it's inclusive, if they don't think it's transparent.
Pulaski County Judge candidate Wendell Griffin there once again asking county leaders for more transparency about how they're spending money. This after a recent report from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette stating there's more than $35 million in federal relief money that has gone unaccounted for. Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Brooke Buckner. The money is part of $75 million in funds they received from the American Rescue Plan Act a few years ago. Today's press conference coming just 3 months after a court ordered nearly $42 million be transferred from an emergency fund to keep their budget on track. Griffin, as he has done in the past, pushing for full transparency from those in charge.
People of Pulaski County deserve complete transparency, complete responsible stewardship of every dollar, and a procurement process that inspires confidence through openness, through fairness, and accountability.
Current county leaders like Judge Barry Hyde have previously said they're committed to maintaining the public's trust. Catherine Rowley is working to hear from him and others, and we'll have more on this story tonight at 10. Meanwhile, tonight we're learning more about the lawsuit filed on behalf of a Russellville teacher who was fired over a social media post. We brought you this story last night at 6, and today THV 11's Carter Thweet spoke to law experts about the suit's chances of success.
September's murder of conservative speaker and activist Charlie Kirk sparked strong opinions.
A lot of commentary that expressed at least some degree of satisfaction and happiness over his killing.
Among those, a post from Russellville High School biology teacher Chance Duncan, who posted a quote about reading some obituaries with pleasure, adding that the quote felt fitting that day. Conservatives online called for Duncan to be fired, and after hours of debate, the school board voted to do just that.
He was fired for that post in retaliation of his First Amendment rights.
Attorney Shelby Schroff and the ACLU of Arkansas are now suing the Russellville School District on Duncan's behalf. The lawsuit argues that commenting on a matter of public concern as a private citizen online protects Duncan's speech.
The Constitution limits what the government can do, and that includes government employers, including public school districts. And they cannot retaliate against their employees for speech that's protected by the First Amendment.
The Russellville School District declined to comment Thursday, citing ongoing litigation. The case now heads to federal court. Bowen School of Law professor Joshua Silverstein says similar cases have often ended in a win for the fired employee.
The basic argument the school will make is that this Facebook post was disruptive. It interfered with the operation of the school. The standard of disruption that the university has to show, or the public school has to show, is quite high. And so I think there's a really good chance the teacher's going to win.
For THV 11 News, I'm Carter Thweet.
Thank you, Carter. ACLU attorneys say Duncan is simply suing for his job back. In the lawsuit, he also requests attorney fees and any other relief to which he may be entitled. Meteorologist Nathan Scott joining me now for a look at our weather. Nathan, safe to say it's pretty steamy out there. When can we expect some relief?
It's a sweat fest out there,
yeah.
Brooke. Probably the hottest conditions we've seen so far this season. We do have some relief on the way as we go into the weekend. More on that coming up a little bit later. But there you see the current heat index at Little Rock, 103. Now, it has been as high as 110 earlier this afternoon. So that puts us into the intense to danger zone. And we still have some dangerous heat indices. Searcy feeling like 110, feeling like 109 in Texarkana, and it feels like 107 in Russellville. Actual air temperatures are into the low to mid 90s. The only good news is there's a breeze. Now, when we take a look at the radar, not too much happening. Very slim chance there could be a stray shower or a thunderstorm, but the best chance of that happening will be into North Arkansas. And some of these storms could be quite rowdy moving through the northern part of the state. Here in central Arkansas, I think we're primarily dry. We do have a severe weather risk for north and northeast Arkansas as we go through the overnight. So the storms could have quite a temper and produce some damaging winds and maybe some dime to quarter size hail. Tomorrow, temperatures back up into the mid to upper 90s. nice, but I think this is going to be the worst of the heat because as we go into the weekend, the chance of showers and thunderstorms will be going up and the temperatures go down slightly. I'll have more on the weekend forecast coming up.
Thanks, Nathan. The heat is something a lot of people are bracing for. In California, it's fueling dangerous wildfire conditions. And in Phoenix, it's led to an increase in heat-related emergencies. And here in Little Rock, one of those emergencies unfortunately turned deadly, as investigators say a baby was left in a hot car for 8 hours. But the owner of the daycare where it happened is now out of jail after being charged with second-degree murder. THV 11's Tanya Motorzitsky is live tonight with what police say happened and what child safety advocates are reminding caregivers. Tanya?
Brooke, this is such a hard story. It's so heartbreaking. And actually, Hope Academy, that I am right in front of, was open today and closed its doors at 5 o'clock. And within the last, I'd say about 15, 20 minutes, there were some guys that pulled up and looked like they were measuring for a gate around the front of the building. But, you know, I spoke with child safety activists and advocates about the dangers of this. And they say it actually can happen quite easily because of distracted drivers and a sleeping infant. Now, Little Rock police say it started with a normal daycare pickup. Reports say Hope Jones went to pick up the infant from its foster mom Wednesday morning just before 6:30 and forgot the baby was in the back seat, and it wasn't until 8 hours later she found the baby unresponsive. Amber Rollins with Kids and Cars Safety says this tragedy should serve as a reminder for every caregiver.
You know, we want them to follow our look before you lock safety checklist. So number one, we want them to look before you lock. That means open the back door, check the back seat every single time you leave your vehicle, even if you don't have the children with you.
Hope is out on a $15,000 bond, and her next court appearance is September 9th. Live in Little Rock, Tanya Motorzitsky, THV 11 News.
Thank you, Tanya. According to the National Safety Council, 37 children die inside hot cars every year. But there is a state law that allows you to step in and help. It's called the Good Samaritan Law and states you can break into a car if necessary in order to save a trapped pet or child. And with temperatures rising, it's also a good time to remind you if you take a common antidepressant like Zoloft or Prozac, you may need to take extra precautions in this summer heat. Some can cause increased sweating, raising the risk of dehydration if you don't replace those fluids. Some blood pressure medications can also increase the risk of dehydration in hot weather, so make sure to talk with your healthcare provider if you plan on spending a lot of time outdoors. Meanwhile, a few heavy downpours led us to a story that's pretty hard to believe. A young girl now recovering after being swept into a Bryant storm drain during Wednesday's heavy rain. Tonight, THV 11's Maya Ellison walks us through those frightening moments.
It's still hard for first responders in Bryant to believe what unfolded Wednesday evening on Center Street. A storm drain now taped off after a 9-year-old girl was swept inside.
This is the first time you're seeing it. What was going through your head?
It's like, I instantly thought, I was like, a grown man could have fell through that.
I spoke with Bryant Mayor Chris Treat, who says the girl was playing outside with her cousin when she slipped and fell.
And her cousin tried to pull her out, but the current was too strong and took her in.
Her family immediately called 911. Officer Carl Carnley, one of the first on the scene, says search efforts began right away.
I saw other officers already basically swimming into the ditch, looking for her, which the water's moving really fast. And about that time, we realized we needed to find out where that drain came to.
And after a quick call to Bryant Waste Management, he says they got their answer, a creek more than a mile away. The water may be a few inches now, but on Wednesday, the current was so strong where it carried her about 200 yards. That's the length of 2 football fields, where she landed here and somehow got out and made her way across the street into this neighborhood.
Hey, this is Saline County 911. We just received a call from this number. Yes, ma'am. A little girl just showed up at our house. She's soaking wet, and she needs some help.
Officer Carnley says that 911 call brought the relief everyone had hoped for.
They had met me on the front porch, and shit, scrapes, all that stuff, and I've never received a hug so big in my life.
A reunion like that leaves Carnley reminded of how quickly situations like this can turn.
You kind of think like, what if that was my kid? When you walk up and you just see how deep the water was just right here alone, Yeah, it's gut-wrenching.
Now, police say the girl was taken to Arkansas Children's Hospital for treatment. Meanwhile, Mayor Treat is shifting his focus to safety.
So what we're doing now is we're just going to take action, make sure that we put up a all new fence, take care of all this, make sure that it's safe, and then we'll deal with the property owners later.
In Bryan, Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
Maya, thank you. Some additional good news. Mayor Treat says the girl is home and resting. He also tells us the city is working with Public Works and attorneys to bring the property where the basin sits under city control, as he says it was, quote, out of compliance.
We're still in the frying pan on your Friday to close out the work week. Temperatures mid to upper 90, small chance of isolated shower or thunderstorm. It will be breezy, and then the weekend arrives, and the chance of showers and thunderstorms will be going up as a front starts to make its way in here from the north. I'll have a look at future radar and talk about maybe some cooler temperatures as we go into next week. Coming up.